Knee extension isometric hold. So what we're going to do is knee extension is when your knee is straight. We're going to do an isometric hold here. However, we don't want to go to full extension because then we're sort of just using the lockout of our knee as opposed to the actual hamstring. So what we want to do is we're going to get into a position where our hamstrings are lengthened as much as possible and hold that for a period of 2 minutes. So we're going to try and find a difficulty that you can do it in. So I'll show you really quickly how this looks to start with. All you're going to do is lay down and get a little bit of a bend in your knee and use your hamstrings to lift your butt off the floor. But when I do this, if I have my sort of hips tilted this way, it's a lot of lower back and hips and stuff. So what I want to do is get my hips off the floor, but I'm going to tilt my hips under this way, and you'll feel that engage your hamstrings. Now, this is super hard. It may not look like much, it is super hard. So the further out your knees go, the harder this is going to be. The more of your back that you get off the floor, the harder this is going to be. But you also have to make sure that this is tilted the whole time. So what you can do to make life a little bit easier is bring your feet a bit closer, do this. The closer your knees are, the easier this is. We want to get out to here. Also, there's a couple of other ways that you can sort of gate or make it a little bit easier or harder. It's never going to be easy. But if I get to here, I lift up, tilt. The less of my back that I have on the floor, the harder this is. So here I've got almost all my back on the floor up to about here. If I get up to there, I'm now obviously holding a lot more weight. I can also adjust this by just pushing my arms into the floor. That'll do a little bit of adjustment. It's still going to be super hard, but if I take that off, it's even harder. So when you start, you'll just find an angle that you can actually do this at. If you've got to come to your feet are here, you're not really doing anything. But get to about here, lift your butt just off the floor, tilt the hips, and you'll feel your hamstrings on. If you need to put your hands down, put your hands down. This is about your starting point. If this is your starting point, you want to get to 2 minutes. As soon as you can get to 2 minutes, you start making this a little bit harder by getting more and more of your back off the floor as you go until you get to here, tilt the hips under and there. So either way, find the position that you can do, get your butt off the floor, tilt the hips under to make sure the hamstrings are on, and then do this for 2 minutes. And you want to get to pretty much close to failure here. So what we're doing is we want to do this isometrically, so there's no movement. So we're biasing your connective tissue. We're doing it at length. We're giving you some more connective tissue in the hamstring and all the tissue that runs over the back of your knee as well. Enjoy. We'll say one thing. Even though I've given you a few different options for varying the difficulty, this is still a very difficult exercise. So if for some reason you find that you can't quite do it for 2 minutes, even at the most sort of regressed position, because even the most regressed is still quite difficult, as long as you can get to about a minute, we're good. And then get up to about 2 minutes. Once you get to 2 minutes, then you can start progressing it by getting more body off the floor and then further out with your heels. Anyway, enjoy.